Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Board of Public Works for today, Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019.
Commissioner Villegas, Garcia, James, and Caloza are present. President James, you do have a quorum. May we start with Bureau introductions, please, starting with Bureau of Street Services.
Tim Tyson, Bureau of Street Services, Streets LA.
Good morning, Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting.
Good morning, Ali Visi, LA Sanitation.
Good morning, Gene Edwards, Bureau of Engineering.
Good morning, Sefi Wiles, Bureau of Contract Administration.
Good morning, Ted Jordan, Public Works General Counsel.
Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. President James, we do not have any speaker cards under general public comment. We also do not have any commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. No speaker cards were received for any of the items for today's agenda as well.
All right, thank you. Then we'll close general public comment as well as the Neighborhood Council category of commentary. Agenda items 2 through 5 are assessment hearings for street lighting in council districts 2, 10, and 4. Mr. Flamenco, we'll do with number 1 later, but let's go ahead and take care of 2 through 5 at this time.
Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting. Items 2 to 5 pertain to lighting districts, which we are creating in conjunction with private development projects. Ballots for items 2 to 5 were mailed September 11th, 2019. Ballots for items 2 through 5 must be received by the City Clerk's office by next Tuesday, October 29th. We have not received any objections to date on items 2 to 5. We are requesting for the board to adopt and forward items 2 to 5 forthwith to City Council.
Any questions on 2 through 5? Commissioner Garcia has made a motion that we adopt agenda items 2 through 5. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda items 2 through 5. Any issue sending those forthwith? We'll send 2 through 5 forthwith.
President James, just for the record, is that a second by Commissioner Garcia and your motion?
It was my motion.
Your motion.
No, I'm sorry.
Motion by
good,
Commissioner Garcia, seconded by Commissioner James.
Yeah.
Thank you for the...
Or maybe Commissioner Davis did.
I will note...
We both did. How's that?
I will note moved by Commissioner Garcia and seconded by both Commissioner James and Commissioner Davis.
All right.
Thank you.
Without objection, that'll be the order, and we'll send those forthwith. Agenda item number 9, Council District 7. The Mayor and City Council have approved and authorized the Board of Public Works on behalf of Sanitation to execute Amendment number 1 of the Memorandum of Understanding with the Discovery Cube Los Angeles to develop, promote, and assist with sanitation, environmental events, and programs. This was already approved by the board. It's simply coming back for signature. Is there a second to my motion that we approve agenda item number 9 forthwith? By Commissioner Villegas. Any objection? Without objection, we will do so. Ms. Weintraub, we have a special presentation this morning from engineering on our homeless facilities staff recognition. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Deborah Weintraub, Chief Deputy City Engineer from the Bureau of Engineering. I'm very honored to be here today to give commendations to our staff who have really stepped up over the last year or so to work on a really important program for the mayor and the city. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to our wonderful commissioner, Commissioner Calgucci, to tell you about the work that our staff has done.
Commissioner Calgucci.
You're too fast for me, President James.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. Actually, if I can have you stand up here with me, Deborah. Good morning, colleagues, Bureau representatives, city family. We're so excited to be here today to really recognize a wonderful group of people that have put so much heart in the work that they do, and they were called into action to really deliver a project that, yes, albeit controversial, is really also helping our fellow Angelenos and really making sure that they not only have shelter, but they have homes. And so I have gotten an opportunity the last few months to really get to know and see the hard work that these individuals put into the delivery of the mayor's Bridge Home projects and the dedication that they've put in the time and the effort and the sweat and the tears. And so we're just really, so honored, and today's really just a day to say thank you to all of them, to recognize them for their contributions. I wish we could do this more often for them because they work day and night to deliver the mayor's project. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Bridge Home initiative, they are being delivered in lightning speed amount of time compared to how construction projects are traditionally delivered. And so these young you're not young, but these men and women are really under a lot of pressure. And again, we just thank them for their contributions and are really excited to just commend them for their work. And I don't think he was expecting this, but actually the first person that we wanted to recognize is the person who is at the head of all of this, which is Mr. Alan Calgucci.
Oh, there he is, sitting right there in the VIP section. I didn't see you earlier, sir.
So, surprise, Alan. I know you thought that you were here to recognize your team, but we're also here to recognize you for all your efforts. We can't thank you enough for all that you do. And on behalf of me on the Board of Public Works, we're just so incredibly grateful and thankful to your team for all your hard work. And I don't know if you want to say anything, Deborah, or if Alan, you want to, yeah?
So Alan picked up the ball on this in a really incredible way, and it has been a sprint, and it continues to be a sprint because of the urgency of the issue we're facing. And any project has its complications, and every one of the sites we've worked on has had interesting issues. And I do get emails from Alan all day and all night and all weekend on this. So I really want to thank him for his leadership effort, and it's important to acknowledge him because there are going to be difficulties ahead in delivering this program as well. So thank you, Alan.
Thank you. And as Lee Corso would say on College Game Day, if you any of you college football fans out there, not so fast. Because we're going to say a few words first, Mr. Calgucci. Alan, let me just say, I'm thrilled that you're being recognized for this, but so many other things that you've done over the years. You are one of our favorites. Not that we have favorites, but if we were to have favorites, you would be one of them.
Thank you.
You just, the entire time that we've been here, you've been such a great leader for engineering. You're one of, fortunately we have many, but you are one of the superstars that when you step to the podium, there's instant credibility and comfort with all of us. Because we know that you know everything that's happening in your stratosphere of the work that you do. I've been hearing for months about the great work that you've been doing on this. And I know, we all know, but I want to emphasize it. This is a top priority. This is, never mind a top priority. This is the top priority for our mayoral administration at this time. And it is something that is being watched, studied, analyzed with a microscope by the press, by numerous advocates, by lawyers, and most importantly, by our constituents in the public, and other cities as well. So what you have led with your team, Alan, and this is meant for all of you being recognized today, will be studied in the future on how Los Angeles solved its homelessness crisis. And you are really at the front line of the success that the city will be showing. And just the numbers of projects that are coming in the next 12 months are exciting. So thank you, sir. And we'll start with you, and then we'll talk about the others too. But Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, President James. Everything that President James said, I ditto it too. But I just want to add that congratulations on this. You do deserve it, because every time you come up here and you do a briefing for us, you make it seem so easy. You make it seem like the past few months were just a cruise and you got things done. But I know that that's not reality when you're almost meeting every day with a team of different folks from different departments with different agendas and different wishes that they want. It must be very hard to just manage all of that on an almost every day 24 hours, 7 days a week basis. So congratulations for coming up here and always making it seem so seamless, which we know it's not. So congratulations. Thank you. You really deserve this certificate and more, to be honest. So.
Yes, we thought a trophy might be.
Yeah. like a bowl, you know, like one of those big bowls or something.
But thank you, sir. The floor is yours, and then we'll talk
Thank
about
you for
some
all the
others.
kind words. I really appreciate it. Good morning, both commissioners and bureau heads, Mr. Jordan, Dr. Campos. My name's Alan Calgucci. I'm the bureau's rep for the homeless program. Kind of emotional, I guess. I say I'm the representative because it's a multi-department effort. The Public Works has only one piece of this big program, and I've had to deal. And the response has been great from the support from the board. Whenever I've come to you for an issue, you've all been very supportive in terms of what can I do. You always ask for more. What else can we do to make your program run better? And that's something, personally for me, is a first. I do want to thank Mr. Jordan because whenever I've talked and asked something from Mr. Jordan, within the day he's coming back and he's brought other attorneys to support the program. Dr. Campos, with the accounting groups, again, I couldn't bring all those people up that helped in processing invoices because those are just as important. But he's put time aside to meet with the staff and say, what are the issues that we have? And I know that's something that is unprecedented. He has a lot of things to do, but he's carved out time to spend at least, one afternoon, an hour to sit with my administration staff to go over invoicing, contract issues, and all that smooths things out. One of the things the city engineer had said, just to kind of explain the complexity of what we're doing, the city engineer had said one time that what we're doing, we are putting together a program that each of the projects run approximately about $5 million, and typically the Bureau of Engineering would spend roughly about 3 years to deliver this. A year in design, maybe about 6 months in advertisement, a year to construct. But we're compressing this into 6 months. So you can imagine the effort that has to happen in 6 months. The coordination that has to happen is, I think, really incredible. Just as a summary right now, we have 4 facilities that we did complete, and we are in construction of 6 that will be opening very soon. And we have 7 in the pipeline. And the reason why I say it's in the pipeline is I'll cover a little bit later is because we're going to bring those to you to actually go out to bid. Just earlier this month, the mayor has asked us that he wants all the projects in construction by January. So you could see that we have 7 projects that have to be brought before the board to go into construction. I think that's a major feat that we're trying to accomplish. So let me first kind of go over how we go over a project, and I want to talk to and start introducing the people that actually did it, because really, I wasn't the one doing the work. These people were doing the work for us. So once a site is identified, and that's also one of the problems that we run, is that it's not like you sit there and someone says, here are 15 sites that you can work with, start moving forward on them. What happens is the council office identifies the site's investigated, and then a motion goes before council. Once that motion goes before council is when we actually get the green light to start. So it's very difficult to plan because the fact we're kind of just waiting. We have our regular work that we're doing, and then these projects come along. So everyone drops what they're doing to get onto this program. The mayor has outlined a delivery method that we have 4 weeks to do the design. We have a week to do plan check, and we have 4 months to do construction. So you can see, again, it's a very, very aggressive schedule. So what I'd like to do is when we get a site assigned to us by the council, what we do is I'd like Eileen Schitzau to come up. What happens is we have to do a CEQA document. She puts this together in about 4 to 6 weeks because we need this to be adopted by council. She coordinates with the city attorney's office to get the language exactly right so that this gets uploaded into the files as we get it accepted. So again, this is Eileen. She's done great jobs. She also works on the weekends.
And evenings.
So with that, I'd like to thank Eileen for her efforts in what she does, because again, she's preparing studies that we have to do for the CEQA. She then has to write all this up, and like I said, coordinate with city attorney. And I think she does a great job. The next people I'd like to bring up are my geotechnical staff. They actually don't work for me. They're in another division. And what the geotechnical people do is once we have the site, they put out a task order solicitation to start getting borings. They start putting together all of the reports that have to go together because their work is important because it gets handed off to our structural. Now, again, we haven't started design. This is the beginning, but the clock has already started for us. And I'd like to thank Jose Berenstein and Easton Forcier. They've done a great job in terms of, come on up, guys, because I think you guys have done a great job. Whenever I've asked for something, they have come to address things, and they've even helped me in terms of saying, here's how we can move faster. So I really appreciate your help. The other group that we also call upon is Survey. They're not here today, but we also, oh, they are.
Oh, there you go. On the other side of the room. They were surveying the other side of the room.
Mark handles our coordination of our survey. And, again, when we call him out, they're getting out there within the next few days. They can survey a site within 1 and 2 days, but the real work comes into creating that CAD file that we have to then hand off to all the designers. And so once he and his team, and I know there's tons of surveyors that I haven't brought up here, but again, I wanted to thank them because they just did a great job in terms of getting that information. So again, if you're looking at the clock, we've ordered the borings, we've ordered the CEQA to begin, we've ordered the survey. The designers can't really even start yet because they're waiting for all this base information. I'd like to bring up Arnulfo Chamu. Arnulfo's an associate. He's been here for about a year. And Arnulfo has the job of making sure that all of these items are coordinated. He's looking at when the borings are ordered, when it's supposed to be in place, when the survey is out there, when is it going over to the architects. He's also looking at my right of entries because we have to get right of entries from other entities, from the MTA, Caltrans. Those are all big efforts that he has to keep track of. And someone says, well, gee, do you need to track it that closely? And the answer is yes, because if we lose 1 day or 2 days, in a regular schedule, it's almost like a month. And that's a big deal. We can't afford to lose that. So he's on top of that, and I want to thank him for that work. Once all that work is now compiled together, it then starts moving over to our architects, okay, who are the ones that are starting to do the design. They take the geotech work, they take the survey work, and they all start putting it into place. Marina Quinones is the one architect that I've had that's been, come on up. Her job is to coordinate all the projects together. And like I said, we have about 15 that we're coordinating. And so she's been keeping an eye, making sure that the architects are getting the information that they need, making sure that the layouts meet the criteria of the codes that were all drawn out. What's also really nice about what she does, too, is she's also, not nice, but I guess she's also having to work with her own projects that she has to design, and she's overseeing those. So not only she's overseeing her own project, she's doing a navigation center in CD8, but she's also coordinating all these other projects for me with the consultants. So thank you. Wendy Delgado Crispo, she's also one of the other architects that gets involved. She's designing a navigation center that's also part of it, so thank you. We hired her from the harbor, and she's been a breath of fresh air in terms of trying to work with everything, always has a smile, and I appreciate that because we need that. The other architect I have coming up is Steve Lane. Steve Lane is the architect that was in charge of Schrader. Schrader was the second of the ones that we opened up. Steve, if you don't know, Schrader received several awards, and it's a very beautiful facility. A lot of people have had tour from all different areas. Steve had put that one together. He did a really great job in terms of the details that are on it. He's also now designing our town refresh center, which hopefully will be done design-wise in about the next 2 or 3 weeks, and we're ready to go to construction hopefully by December, right? So thank you. The next architect I wanted to bring up is Eric Vanderweiva. Eric's done a great job. He does a lot of our renderings. He does a lot of our layouts that's out there. We just recently completed the Gardner Center in CD4, and that's a beautiful facility. I think Commissioner Costa was out there. And I believe that this project will also get a lot of awards. He's also designing the Riverside facility that's going to be up near Griffith Park. And again, I want to thank Eric for doing all his work. So thank you very much. Once the architects have all this work, then we get our sub-people together, and the architects have to do all their layouts, all the areas of where they want the buildings to go. And then what we have is Raymond Wong. He's our mechanical engineer. What Raymond does is he does not only the design, but he is in charge of coordinating all the MEP or the mechanical for all the facilities to make sure that we have consistency within them. So again, Raymond, I know it's a big job to coordinate because he's coordinated with consultants, city staff, and I appreciate it. Thank you for your work. Sun Vong is the electrical that we have that does the work. And what Sun does is he not only does design, he also coordinates all the electrical because we want to make sure all the electrical is the same. And I know his job has grown and grown. He's done a great job in what he does. Like I said, I wanted to keep him more in design, but the mayor's office has asked him to do more of the coordinating because he's found some issues that he wants corrected in the electrical. But I want to thank you for your efforts as well. Thank you. Is Cyril here? Cyril Charles isn't here. He's my assistant because, again, not only did we get the sprung tents and we get the trailers going, but one of the things that we were tasked to do by the mayor's office is to come up with another delivery method. The other delivery method was to have container projects done. We didn't have that in our mix. About midway through, we were asked to put together some specifications, put together some set of plans, and Cyril kind of oversaw that effort to do that. And I wanted to thank him, even though he's not here, but it was a big effort to put that together. Typically, our delivery method has been that this design would go to general services, and they would do the construction for us, and they have been doing this on the first roughly 6 or 7. However, with the amount that we're getting pushed on us, general service is getting overwhelmed, I believe, with the amount of work. And so we decided that we would have to start to bid the rest of the projects out in order to meet the mayor's decree of trying to complete all the projects by June. So I had Joyce Marr from my staff. And what Joyce's job was to do is, and it sounds not that difficult, but she's to convert the drawings over because we had already 3 or 4 of the projects geared for going to general services. So she's had to gear them over to go out to bid. So that means rewriting our general requirements because there weren't any when we go to general services. She's taking care of our general requirements, our general conditions. She's getting the plans changed around a little bit so that we can bid, and we're looking to bid the first ones coming out in the mid part of November. So that'll be coming to the board to advertise. So Joyce, thank you for the effort. I know it's been a big headache for you, but she's done a great job in keeping everyone in line and keeping them going. Once the projects are now in construction, we now have a set of what we call construction managers that come up. And I'd like to bring up all the construction managers at one time, which is, come on up, which is Marcelino Asensio, Luz Robello, Marriott Ohanian, and Javier Gonzalez. What the CMs do for us out there, and Jason Big, what the CM people do is they make sure that the project schedules are being maintained out in the field. They're answering RFIs. They're doing change orders for us. And like I said, projects don't move as smoothly as you think unless you don't have a CM out there. And I wanted to thank all 4 of you or 5 of you for doing the job because it is something that they're out there day in, day night doing that for us. So thank you very much. I think last but not least, what we have is, and because I don't think that we talk about it as much, but I do have an admin staff. And the admin staff is very important because in order to meet these schedules, these sprung tents take 8 weeks to fabricate. The trailers take 12 weeks to fabricate. The only way we can make that happen is to order them during the design period. Okay, and so I wanted to bring up my admin staff. I have Mercedes Andalon and Thelma Castletort. And like I said, not only do they do our purchase orders, I mean, because we are using state funds, we're using HEAP and HAP funds, they have to create reports that have to be given to the mayor's office and then to the CAO. So that is on a monthly basis. It's a lot of things to do. Again, processing the invoicing, I think working with accounting, and again, wanted to thank Dr. Campbell for their help in things because he's always been trying to accommodate as much as he can. And so I appreciate that, but they've done a fabulous job in terms of getting all the administration parts. I think we sometimes always forget that portion of it. You know, we always think of the technical, but we don't recognize the support staff without them. It's like if you didn't have secretaries, your jobs would be so much more difficult in terms of scheduling meetings and whatnot, and they do that all for me, so thank you. With that, I think that's the entire staff. Oh.
Can I interject?
Yes, you can.
Thank you, Al. Actually, can we call everybody back up here? You guys can't get away that fast. Yes, and Deborah also has one more person to recognize. And before I turn it over to Deborah, I just also want to thank Deborah, who is also part of the work that we do on the Bridge Home program. So thank you for your leadership, for all your hard work, and also to Gary Leemore, who's probably working on it as we speak as well. So thank you for all you do.
So I also wanted to acknowledge Jose Fuentes, who is head of our Construction Management Division and is here with us today because he has helped in the field to solve problems quickly with the contractors. So with that, again, my gratitude to all of you for all the hard work. I know this program has been hard. I know we've faced challenges, but every step of the way you all have stepped up, and as you can see, it takes a village to deliver these projects. And we don't even have the village of General Services here with us, who have really been our partners in this. So thank you again.
Thank you, Deborah. We'll start with Commissioner Davis.
Yes, I first want to start with the overview of this project, which is really doing work in the homelessness issue in Los Angeles. And I think the mayor's office is to be commended from having the guts to get into a very complex problem and really trying to implement a solution. But I want to emphasize that this is really simply not a Los Angeles problem, it's an American problem. So whether we're talking about cold cities like Chicago and New York, or warm cities like Miami, that throughout the country, the most overwhelming social problem in America's today, America's both city and suburban areas today, cities as well, is the homelessness problem. And so we are one of the most dynamic cities in the world, quite actually. And to take on this Herculean problem is commendable. I want to start with the leadership, starting with Deborah Weintraub, who made the selection as to who in the engineering area, specifically who would take it on, and to Alan Calgucci, who took it on and has put together a diverse team of talent from many aspects of our great city. The support staff, construction managers, general services department, environmental, electrical, mechanical, architects, right of entry experts, surveyors, geotechs, and all others that I might not have mentioned. We appreciate the hard work that you have done, and I have observed how fulfilling this project is to you, to know that the work you are doing is more than engineering. It really reflects the beauty of what your profession really does do. It helps to improve the quality of life for others. This is a project demonstrating excellence, and I was so very pleased to see Alan Calgucci overcome with joy, with tears of joy, for the work that you are doing, and it speaks volumes. And I think that what you are doing is immeasurable. We couldn't put a price on it. We couldn't pay you enough for what you're doing, and I would just conclude by saying, when we look at what we do here in Los Angeles, we are a society like every other society who's going to be judged on how we treat young people in the sunrise of life and how we treat people in the senior citizens in the sunset of life. But also equally important, what we do for people who are disadvantaged and have been locked out and left out of society, hopefully in the middle of life. And you have helped us answer that question. And so as a member of the Board of Public Works, I think I speak for all of my colleagues when I say how proud we are of your ability, your energy, your motivation to get right in there and to get this done. I look forward to the day when you complete this project and that we are reflected back up on as a city that made a difference in this American problem. So thank you so very much. And we are right there with you, and we've got to get this done. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Commissioner Garcia.
I'm all right, Davis. I have nothing to say now. I was going to turn off my light, actually. I just want to say this is a beautiful view. From this side to over here, it's beautiful because it's such a diverse group. I'm starting from, Jessica, Alan, Deborah, and everybody, and Jose. I know you were in there, so it was nice to see you come out there. And everybody else, it's really nice to see there's women and men and every culture in just this group. And like you said, there's still more. The GSD folks, and then we still have the folks on the ground doing the actual work, right? I just think it's just really nice to see this. And that's all I have to say, because Davis really did a good job.
He's good at that. Commissioner Villegas.
Well, as the newest member, just coming into the Board of Public Works, this is my second week. I think that the commissioners also expressed some of my sentiment as well, but seeing all of your beautiful young faces is just emblematic of Los Angeles. Thank you very much. I'm really humbled as a public servant to be here. And really feel as part of the team, just as your team and all of our other bureaus, because together, we are the ones doing, this work just as much as Mr. Calgucci and all of you, trying to do our best. So I always tell my kids, you got to go and look for work that you're going to find that is gratifying. And I feel that we're all on this line of work together. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Let me just close briefly by, one, recognizing Commissioner Caloza. Jessica, there's a natural thoughtfulness to you that you have, and I see it every day in the work that you do and the appreciation that you have for engineering. I just wanted to mention that because I think it came through today as well. Ms. Weintraub, the leadership is so stellar at engineering. You're a part of that stellar leadership team, and it shows here today. So thank you to you, and send a message to Gary Lee Moore. I know it's a rough time for him with the World Series going on without the Dodgers in it. But that too will pass. But thank him for his great leadership. And Alan, to the points made earlier, the way that you described the work that you all are doing paints just. I wish that we had a videotape of that so we can show the public and the press the process and put all of these incredible faces and identities and public servants with the jobs that they're succeeding so well at. So that was very well done. Thank you to all of you. What a great team. Just know that, because I know after today, you guys have a lot of projects coming up, and we know that you're working weekends and nights, and these things never give you a break from deadlines, and we know that. And we really appreciate it. And let me just say this. On behalf of Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti, thank you. So with that, let's take, I think, in the back, we would like to get a group shot with all of you in the back so that folks in social media know what work you're doing too. And then we'll take a couple minutes recess and we'll be right back with our agenda. Okay, let's see if, make sure our sound system is back up and our executive officer is here. And all of our commissioners are seated. Dr. Campos, let's go ahead and take care of our meeting minutes. Wednesday, October 16th, 2019. Is there a second to my motion to approve those meeting minutes by Commissioner Garcia? Any objection? Without objection, we will approve those meeting minutes. Mr. Flamenco, on number 1, Council District 13 on number 1, assessment hearing number 1, Hoover Street and Council Street Street Lighting Maintenance Assessment District, council hearing set for October 29, 2019. I pulled that when I did 2 through 5. I kept one separate because I thought in the event there's additional discussion regarding number 1, and if we have questions related to it, we can call for that in the audience as well. But go ahead, Mr. Flamenco, on number 1.
Ruben Flamenco, Bureau of Street Lighting. Item 1 pertains to the Hoover Street and Council Street Lighting District, which we are creating in conjunction with a private development project, a 221-unit residential condominium complex. The developer is required to install 8 streetlights plus upgrade 7 existing streetlights.
And that's a requirement, right?
That's a requirement.
Okay, go ahead.
The lighting district consists of 15 parcels. Ballots were mailed on September 11, 2019. Ballots must be received by the city clerk's office by next Tuesday, October 29th. We did receive a protest on item 1 via phone on October 9, 2019, protesting the increase in her annual street lighting maintenance assessment rate from $47.76 to $162.70. We did explain to the constituent that she will be receiving additional streetlights on her street, plus the existing streetlights will be upgraded with our latest LED technology. Second, her rate has not increased since 1996 following the passage of Proposition 218. Moreover, the private development is what's triggering a reevaluation of her assessment rate, which is based on land use and acreage versus the old methodology based on benefiting frontage. Lastly, she expressed concern that her assessment rate was increasing to pay for some of the construction costs of the developer. We made it clear to her that her assessment rate is simply for the annual street lighting maintenance assessment rate, and she is not paying a penny in construction costs. With that in mind, we are requesting for the board to deny the protest. We are requesting for the board to adopt and forward item 1 forthwith to City Council.
Any representative of the protest here? Okay. Recognizing no increase, it's a larger increase than we see sometimes, Ruben, but recognizing no increase since 1996 with the improvements in the area that are required under the project, and we only had the 1 protest, correct?
That's correct.
And there's an opportunity for the council hearing on October 29th?
Yes.
Okay, based on that, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 1 as is. Seconded by Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 1. Any issue sending number 1 forthwith? We'll send number 1 forthwith. Agenda item number 6, sole source procurement contract, Council District 15, Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Facility Project, recommending that the board first approve the selection of Hydronautics Nito Group Company, that's Hydronautics, to be the sole source supplier of membrane modules for the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant Advanced Water Purification Facility reverse osmosis membrane replacement, and secondly, authorize sanitation to enter into a sole source contract with Hydronautics for procurement and installation of the above referenced membrane work with a budget not to exceed $920,000. And Mr. Thibodeau, you'll explain the reason and the justification for the sole source for what sounds like a unique capital item. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, correct. Good morning, President James, commissioners, bureau leaders. I'm Lance Thibodeau from the Terminal Island Water Reclamation Plant. And as mentioned, we're requesting the authority to sole source with Hydronautics Nito Company the procurement of the Advanced Water Purification Facility reverse osmosis membranes. This will use the sewer and construction maintenance funds, and the amount is $920,000. As you're aware, the TI AWPF is a water reclamation facility, and it uses the tertiary effluent, does advanced treatment on that water, and then it's distributed to the Dominguez Gap barrier, and then in the future, other industrial users. The existing membranes, which are Hydronautics ESPA 2 Max for the phase 1 of the reverse osmosis were installed in 2012. The membranes have a useful life of 5 years, so they're past their useful life. In addition, the rubber strap assemblies and also the saddles that the vessels sit on and that hold the vessels down, the membranes go inside of these vessels. These straps and saddles were installed in 2000, and they've experienced deterioration based on the exposure to sunlight and also being located near the ocean environment where our facility is. So we've done performance evaluations on the membranes, and we can see that they're definitely have deteriorated as far as the product of the water that they're able to generate. So it's time to replace the membranes and also the rubber strap assemblies and the saddles. Again, we are requesting to sole source with Hydronautics, and the reason being is that these types of membranes from Hydronautics have done a great job in our history at Terminal Island. In addition, they've been used for many years at West Basin and at the Donald C. Tillman Reclamation Plant pilot project. So we have a good experience and good track record with the Hydronautics membranes. Also, purchasing these will allow us to reduce the amount of spares that we have, so it will lead to logistical and economic efficiencies. We have 2 newer RO trains, and they both use the Hydronautics membranes. So again, for that reason, we'd like to replace the old ones with the same type that we have experience with and that we're currently using in our newer RO trains. And then in addition, if we were to consider using another manufacturer's membranes, we'd have to go through extensive pilot testing, and that would indeed further delay the replacement. So again, LA-SAN is requesting that the Board of Public Works authorize Terminal Island to utilize Hydronautics as the sole source provider for the membranes, the appurtenances, and also the installation of the replacement RO membranes. There's no impact to the general fund. This is a one-time purchase order in the amount of $920,000, and it's funded from the Sewer Construction and Maintenance Fund. And it was pointed out that maybe the wording as far as a contract may be a bit off, where indeed this is a purchase order that we're requesting.
Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James. I just had a few quick follow-up questions. In 2012, was it also sole sourced when you guys installed it?
Yes, it was sole sourced in 2012, and then also in 2017, we completed construction of 2 new RO trains, which we call RO C and D, and we also sole source for Hydronautics to provide and install those membranes.
And LA-SAN is happy with the performance of the membrane, and you guys want to, and that's why you guys want to continue moving forward with this specific piece of equipment, right?
Correct.
Okay. And just curious, this is my last question, but was there an increase in price, or how much did we pay, do you know, in 2012? I'm just curious if there's a big price jump.
To be honest, I'm not sure compared to 2012. I know since 2017, which was only 2 years ago, there hasn't been much price increase, but I'm not certain as far as 2012.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you.
You know what, Lance, could you maybe just check back on the 2012 and pop us an email on that price? I'd just be curious as well, just to get a sense of these kinds of things.
Okay.
And Mr. Jordan, I always like, as you know, to make an oral record from the city attorney as well regarding the approval of the sole source justification.
Yes, I concur with the Bureau's recommendation. I've read through the report. I'm familiar with the 2017 project that added the additional trains, and so I concur with the recommendation.
Okay, great, thank you. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6. Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, I think Executive Officer may have some slight clarification about the manner in which the contract to purchase
Yeah,
this will
Mr.
be done.
Thibodeau referenced that.
Yes,
Go ahead, Dr. Campos.
recommendation number 2. Recommendation would be to amend recommendation number 2 to read authorize the Los Angeles Sanitation and Environment to request the Department of General Services to create and enter into a sole source purchase order instead of a contract with Hydronautics for the procurement, and everything else remains the same. So request is that this board reconsider this item and approve it as amended to amend the recommendation number 2 as read into the record.
Right, that would be my motion as well. Is there a second on that, Commissioner Davis? Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, it'll be approved as amended. Any issue sending it forthwith? We'll send it forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Thibodeau, for the explanation. Thank you. Agenda item number 7, Council District 4, is a requested contract acceptance. Crescent Drive, near 8493 Crescent Drive, that's a slope repair. Recommending that the board accept the contract. Ms. Wiles on number 7.
Yes, good morning. On January 15, 2019, an emergency geotechnical structural construction services contract was awarded on a competitive basis in the amount of $96,470 with a not-to-exceed limit of $130,000 to John S. Meek Company, Inc. The contract was executed with the notice to proceed issued on January 25th, 2019, and on May 10th this year, all work was completed and finalized. The project scope included retaining wall structures to stabilize the slope and mitigate sloughing of soils. There were 3 change orders increasing the contract amount by $31,669.02, which represents 33% of the original contract amount. However, it was 1.43% below the not-to-exceed amount, bringing the total cost of this contract to $128,139.02. Funds were provided from General Fund Number Department 54 Crescent Drive Slope Failure Project, account 00P321. Request to release retention was processed on May 20th, and that was payment number 2 from our offices to Office of Accounting. There were no funds disputed or withheld, therefore no funds are due the contractor. And the contractor has complied with all EEO requirements, and due to the emergency nature of the work, there was no specific subcontracting participation levels established. There are no unresolved property owners' complaints, and I request the board accept this contract. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions at all on number 7? Thank you, Ms. Wells. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 7. I'm familiar with the project, appreciate the work. Seconded by Commissioners Caloza and Villegas. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Any issue sending 7 forthwith? We'll send 7 forthwith. There's a housekeeping item that I forgot earlier. Agenda item number 10, 6th Street Viaduct update for the Bureau of Engineering. There's been a requested continuance to Wednesday, January 15th, 2020. So without objection, we'll adopt that continuance to that January date. Agenda item number 8 is a request for qualifications, RFQ, Municipal Facilities Program, the Business Inclusion Program Exempt Project, Pre-Qualified On-Call List, recommending that the board first authorize the city engineer to distribute the RFQ, that's transmittal number 1, for the purpose of opening the pre-qualified list of general contractors to perform Business Inclusion Program exempt projects for the Municipal Facilities Program, and Mr. Ohanian will explain that. Secondly, authorize staff from engineering and contract administration to evaluate and qualify the respondents based on the requirements set forth in the RFQ and establish a revised list to include the pre-qualified general contractors for the Business Inclusion Program exempt projects for the Municipal Facilities Program. Mr. Ohanian.
Good morning, Eddie Ohanian, Bureau of Engineering, Project Award and Control Division. We are requesting board authorization to issue requests for qualifications to add additional pre-qualified contractors to our existing pre-qualified contractors list for municipal facilities and related projects. The current pre-qualified contractors list that was established on August 14, 2015 contains 8 pre-qualified contractors that were approved for Business Inclusion Program. Considering contracting environment and how busy contractors are, and the number of projects that the Crisis Bridge Housing Program intends to advertise. The Bureau of Engineering believes additional contractors will bring more participation and more competitive bidding to the program. On August 27, 2019, we received BPW waiver from Crisis Bridge and Housing Projects from Mayor's Office of Budget and Innovation. However, the rest of the contract requirements remains the same, unchanged for this RFQ. Upon your approval, we will advertise the RFQ on the list on the Los Angeles Business Assistance Virtual Network, BAVN, for 3 weeks and collect statements of qualifications. The Bureau of Engineering and the Bureau of Contract Administration will review and evaluate SOQs based on following criteria: work performed for public and private sectors, record of past performance, payment to subcontractors and adherence to prevailing wages, safety records, and finally, staff competency and overall company resources. Once evaluations are complete, we will return to the board with a joint board report recommending addition of new pre-qualified contractors to the list. The new list will contain 2 groups of pre-qualified contractors: list of existing contractors that are pre-qualified with BIP, and list of new pre-qualified contractors that will only be allowed to bid on BIP exempt projects for the Municipal Facilities CBH Projects program. The Bureau of Engineering intends to return to the board with another board report next year to approve time extension to pre-qualified list of contractors. Considering homelessness in the city and urgency of bridge housing program, we recommend that the board approve advertisement of this RFQ and authorize Bureau of Engineering and BCA to evaluate SOQs for the purpose of adding additional pre-qualified contractors to municipal facilities and related projects list. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ohanian. Putting out an RFQ, any questions at all? Thank you for the explanation. Seeing none, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 8, seconded by Commissioners Caloza and Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 8. Thank you, sir. This is obviously another part of the process that we were talking about earlier today, so very important. Without objection, we adopt agenda item number 8. Any issues sending it forthwith? We'll send number 8 forthwith. Thank you. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Okay, then we are adjourned this Wednesday morning. Everyone have a nice day.